What's going on, guys? My name is Lickety Split, and today we'll be looking at the Solar Expansion mod. If you like what you've seen here, or if I've helped you out in any way, please consider liking or subscribing as it helps the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. For Solar Expansion, there are a total of 6 solar panels, as you can see here. The Leadstone, the Hardened, the Redstone, the Resonant, the Advanced, and the Ultimate solar panels. Each solar panel is a pyramid scheme, for lack of better words, because each solar panel, starting from the ultimate solar panel going down, requires the solar panel below it to create it. So it requires a ultimate, the ultimate requires a resonant, the resonant requires a redstone, and so on and so forth. So let's look and see what the base solar panel costs, because this is where you're going to have to start with the mod. The base panel requires 3 steel nuggets, 2 redstone, 3 voltaic cells, and 1 leadstone energy core. The photovoltaic cell requires 3 glass panes of any kind, 3 lapis shards, and 3 iron nuggets. While the redstone core itself requires 4 lead nuggets and 1 iron ingot. There's nothing particularly expensive here, other than the steel. The mods you can use to create steel are numerous in type, and you should consider the mod that suits you and your playstyle best. I value my time, so I look for a mod that produces steel quickly. Generally, that requires me to use thermal expansion or Ender IO. Use what's best for you and select your steel accordingly. Moving up the panels, you will notice that each one of them requires a solar core. The solar cores are as follows. Starting from the top down, the ultimate solar core requires 4 dye of any kind. So this is a Minecraft dye from a dye factory, purple honey drops. However you can get purple generally is accepted here. The recipe for the advanced solar core is blue dye or lapis. I would suggest doing the blue dye, as you will be using most of your lapis within inside of your voltaic cells. The resonant solar core requires Enderium nuggets. This is going to require you to get into thermal foundation. That's why I mentioned thermal foundation in the generation of your steel. It's best to go ahead and start with thermal foundation and get working on these particular alloys, though there are other ways to do it. The next step down requires Electrum, and the step down after that requires Invar, and then we are back down to our lead panel. So let's take a look at the panels themselves before they're placed in the world. What can we notice about them? Each panel has a shift or a control option. If you hold down shift, you'll be able to see the generation, transfer, and capacity of each panel. If you hold down control, you'll see the current power level of the panel. You will need to use a wrench on the panel in order for it to maintain its power level. Simply mining this up will not keep the power in the panel, but will return the panel back to you. If you take a look here, we can see that the leadstone produces 1, just as it says that it does. But as we move further and further along, you will notice that this panel is producing 31,901, where it told us that it was going to produce 32,768 RF a tick. This has a lot to do with the positioning of the sun. As the sun moves further and further up into the sky until it reaches directly overhead is when it will produce that amount that's on the panel. The further down into the sky it is, the less it will produce. So I'm going to turn the day cycle on so that we can see this in action. You will notice that the panel is going further and further up. Well, it's not quite overhead, but from this point on, which is about 33 degrees, to the point that it reaches 33 degrees in the opposite sky, you'll see that it's stopped producing power. The higher the gap in the panel from 1 to the max panel is the higher the difference you will see in the panel. So let's set the time to 0 and see what we're producing. See, we're just now producing 21,000 RF per tick, and you can really see the big difference here. Whereas if we come down here to our 1, it is still producing the 1 RF a tick. So while it is more efficient to have it would be more efficient to have our leadstone panels, all 32,000 of them out, it wouldn't be more efficient in terms of transfer rate holding capability or or piping or wiring. So the reason that you want to upgrade these panels isn't so that at the end of the day you can produce more power from the leadstone. It's so that all that power that you are producing is produced into this one block. So by having this block here, you gain a few things. You gain additional capacity within the panel itself. You gain better transfer rates, and you only have to produce one cable or one hookup to hook this panel up. So you're saving yourself and your server by a tick rate when you use this, opposed to 32,000 of the leadstone panels. Alright guys, that's it for this short tutorial on solar expansion. Hopefully this helped you out in some way. If it did, please consider liking or subscribing. If you have any questions, please comment down below, or you can ask me directly when I live stream at twitch.tv/split. Have a good day.